And we are beginning the hour with MS Now reporter Alex Cabot in Minneapolis, where hundreds are protesting against ICE, that which happened in their backyard. Alex, what are you hearing from Minneapolis residents today?
That's right, Alex. It's absolutely frigid here, about 20 degrees 5 with a wind chill, but that's not stopping hundreds, if not thousands of people making it out here to both commemorate the life of 37-year-old Renee Good, but also protest ICE. ICE, which is in the middle of a historic immigration crackdown here in Minneapolis, which the Trump administration has only double and triple down on since this tragedy on Wednesday. And now, as you can see, this protest is beginning with an indigenous ritual to pay homage to the immigrant history of this country. Incense are filling the air. People are holding flags from countries from around the world. Now, Alex, I want to introduce you to one of the protesters here. Her name is Brianna. She's a high school teacher here in the Minneapolis area. Brianna, why are you here today?
Murder is wrong. And it's as simple as that. ICE agents around here, it's painful to see all this happening. To our communities, to our students, to our just everybody. It's very frustrating.
And you mentioned the students. You're a high school teacher. Can you talk to me about the impact that the killing of Renee Good has had on the students you teach, and also the impact of the immigration raids on that young community?
Well, when everything kind of went down, we were told to keep it under wraps just because we want to keep our children and our students feeling like they're safe and that this is not something that they should be distracting them from classes and learning on Wednesday. But then, we've had students, parents, and even some students be deported. We've had things like that. I mean, parents are self-deporting too at times. This is awful, to be completely honest. It's also hard to know that I've got students who aren't coming to school because they're afraid of being picked up by ICE. I've had friends of mine, they're saying that they as teachers or parents are being followed by ICE agents. And how does that help our communities stay safe? How does this help any of us do well when we could be using these resources somewhere else that would actually benefit us?
Miranda, thank you so much. And Alex, as you can hear, we're hearing the chants of Renee Good by hundreds, if not thousands, in this crowd in Minneapolis. Alex?
Yep, we can see it both with you and also we can see it from the air with this drone footage. It is, it's a growing group, becoming more boisterous. And as you said, Alex, very tragically, they're calling out the name Renee Good.
Renee Good! Renee Good!
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, Alex, and thank Brianna for the interview as well. So for more on the nationwide outcry over the ICE shooting, let's go to MS Now's Laura Hafley, who is joining us from New York City. So, Laura, what's happening there? Because we know vigils and rallies have sprung up beyond Minneapolis. What are protesters there telling you, and what more can we expect this weekend?
Yeah, Alex, that's right. We're seeing protests erupt all across the country, including right here in New York City, where this group of independent protesters behind me are standing in the shadow of federal immigration court just a couple blocks away from City Hall. And of course, they're holding signs that say abolish ICE. They're actually going to start marching, which they've been doing throughout the afternoon. We'll walk with them. You're hearing them chant the name Renee Good. You're seeing signs that say abolish ICE. One sign calling for the president to be put in jail. These are the kind of protests we're seeing across the country in cities like Seattle, Chicago, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., of course, here in New York and Minnesota. This is what happens when the American people feel as though they've just witnessed some kind of injustice. These Democratic-led cities tend to band together to start protesting in this way. There's one other thing these cities have in common besides the fact that they're Democratic-led. They've also mostly all been targets of ICE operations similar to what we've been seeing in Minnesota. So again, we're going to walk with this group here, and just to set the scene for you a little bit here, right now we're leaving Foley Square. This area of Lower Manhattan is where a lot of the courts are. They're going to walk up the block here around this building right here. This is where Federal Immigration Court is. There's an entrance on the other side of this building that is specifically an entrance for ICE agents. And by the way, the NYPD walking alongside these protesters. You can see these barricades here blocking the way for these protesters to walk safely. A lot of these NYPD officers blocking the streets so they can cross. So again, this is just one example of what we see in these cities when something like this happens. And the anger is not just for Renee Good, but it's for the moments leading up to it. Take a listen.
ICE is conducting a reign of terror in American cities that is violence against hard-working immigrants and now just American citizens trying to defend people in their community. It's a reign of terror. It's got to stop.
It could happen anywhere. We don't want to be the next Minnesota. We want to support them even though we are far away. We want them to know that we stand with them.
So we're going to see protesters here likely throughout the rest of the early evening and tomorrow as well. Again, primarily staying here in Lower Manhattan where Federal Immigration Court is. And again, a couple blocks away from City Hall. Alex?
In fact, that last woman with whom you spoke and portrayed for us, she's there showing solidarity with all that's happened there in Minnesota. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, Laura Hafley in New York. Let's go from there now to Washington and another protest against ICE happening right now. We'll bring in MS Now White House reporter Akayla Gardner. So, Akayla, what are we hearing from the president about the shooting in Minneapolis and the investigation? And just to let everyone know what we're seeing, we are looking at Washington, D.C. footage right now of a protest going on.
Alex, President Donald Trump, along with members of his administration, have claimed that the ICE officer in question, Jonathan Ross, was acting in self-defense when he shot those fatal shots, killing Renee Good. The president specifically accused Good of, quote, violently, willfully, and viciously running over Ross. And he said that just within hours of this shooting happening. And just 30 minutes ago, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt posted on X that this woman was, quote, not an innocent mother dropping off her child at school. She claimed that she was a leftist insurrectionist. All of these claims have been coming out without a formal investigation, and according to the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, there was originally an agreement for this to be a joint investigation with the FBI and local officials, but they were informed that that investigation is no longer, and said that was a decision made by the U.S. Attorney's Office. President Trump was asked about that decision. I want you to take a listen.
Do you believe that the FBI should be sharing evidence with state officials in Minnesota?
Well, normally I would, but they're crooked officials. I mean, Minneapolis and Minnesota, what a beautiful place, but it's being destroyed. It's got an incompetent governor, fool. I mean, he's a stupid person.
Now, President Trump there is referring to widespread fraud allegations in Minnesota involving state child care payments. It's something that Vice President Vance also sought to bring attention to when he briefed the press here at the White House. He claimed that Jonathan Ross is covered by, quote, absolute immunity. And as we see these nationwide protests, including here in Washington, D.C., Attorney General Pam Bondi is warning anyone that obstructing, impeding federal enforcement could result in prosecution. But the Department of Homeland Security put it very simply like this, saying on X, if you lay a finger on federal officers or agents, you will, quote, face the full extent of the law. Alex?
Okay, Akayla Gardner from the White House. Thanks, Akayla, for that.